Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Have you ever been in a situation that just made you just completely uncomfortable? Take, for instance, if you're in a restaurant and somebody's not happy about their service or they're not happy about their food or whatever, and normally you would think that the manager is just called over so that you can have a conversation with the manager and explain this is not how I ordered this, or I think your server was inappropriate or whatever. Well, this person bypassed all of that and just went straight to cussing and swinging and using all type of profanity, and all eyes are on that person, including ours if we're there. And there have been times where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she did that, but she did. So what we do usually in that instance is go, okay, she didn't have any home training. Or we may think, what is wrong with her? She is absolutely crazy. So we're quick to judge because, we're human and we're quick to judge. But we don't know what that person has been through. We don't know what kind of morning that person had. We don't know if that person woke up late and was late to work, and then when she got to work, then her boss was mean to her. And then the boss pretty much embarrassed her in front of the other people. We don't know if this person's significant other was messing around on her and she found out today. We don't know. Sometimes it's really best to be as nice as we can be to people because we really don't know what people are going through. But it's not to excuse her behavior. It is just to say the behavior was not normal, and somewhere along the way, perhaps she didn't learn what she needed to learn to be able to cope with her emotions. Now, sometimes our emotions are all over the place. But if we don't learn how to cope with them, then sometimes they're going to get us in a lot of trouble. Now, we have so many things that go through our mind daily. I mean, so many thoughts. I mean, you think this, and some of the thoughts that we think, they're irrational thoughts. But the thought will pop there. We don't know why. But if you don't know how to control the thoughts, then you might find yourself in prison or in a situation where someone is harmed because you didn't control that thought that made you do the thing that you did. So take, for instance, you're riding by a bank and you look and you go, man, I wonder what it would be to rob that bank, what it would be like, knowing full well that robbing the bank is not anything that you would do. So that was a thought. It could have been like a potential urge, but then you have something inside of you that says, you can't rob that bank, you know? So sometimes people have thoughts and they have these urges, and then they're just not able to control the urges. The the need to do this thing overrides the rational you that would say, don't do it, And then there you are, you're in a situation. So there's something that's called cognitive behavioral therapy. And what that does is it teaches us how to manage those urges. It teaches us to hopefully not get to the point in life where you feel like you have to act on something that is not the right thing to do. And you know what? We know the difference between right and wrong. And I don't know if sometimes we'll choose the wrong thing because we think we can get away with it. Or do we choose the wrong thing because we think, oh, nobody's going to see it, nobody's going to notice it? Or we choose the wrong thing because we just absolutely don't care. So it could be multiple reasons. But cognitive basically means the mind, and it's what we think. What are you thinking? And if you're thinking horrible thoughts, if things come to your mind that are just the most horrible thoughts in the world, then what's going to happen for you is you're going to be a miserable person because you can't do your work, you can't go to school, you can't live like you want to live because in your mind all of these thoughts are coming in your mind, and you know that a lot of them are just unrealistic, but they keep coming just the same. Behavioral, basically, how are you acting? You know, are people talking about how you are acting? If you are acting well and you're a good person and you're doing the right things, then people are singing your praises. That's what's happening. But if you are acting out and you're not treating people well, you may be abusive, you're making the bad decisions that are ending you up in places that you don't want to be, then they're still talking about that too, but definitely not in a favorable way. Then there's therapy. Therapy is basically talking. So a provider will talk with you and ask you questions to help you get to the point where you realize basically some of the errors of your ways, right? So the whole goal of cognitive behavioral therapy is helping you figure out why you do the things you do and you act the way you act. Now, you could act the way you act because of some of the things that you believe. There's something that's called the ABCs of CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. So the A stands for the adverse event. What was it that happened in your life that caused you to get to that point? It could be any of the things that I've already mentioned. Then there is the B. That's your belief. And then the emotions come in after the beliefs. So you may have grown up in a situation where you had to fight for everything, you got, and you were in a career that's mostly men, and then the men don't, talk to you with respect. And so what you do then is, in certain situations, instead of you taking a step back and figuring out what you need to say that's going to be appropriate, then the fight in you comes out. And then things are said, and sometimes things are said, and then you can't take the things back, right? And then the C in the ABCs of CBT is the consequent behavior. So what did you do based on what you were thinking, based on what you believe? Now you have a behavior. All behavior, of course, is not bad. Behavior, hopefully, if your behavior is inappropriate, you can learn some skills to get you to the point where it is appropriate. There are a lot of things that you can learn in CBT. One of the things you can learn is to have more flexible thinking. You cannot think that what you believe is the right thing no matter what. It's good to find out what someone else's perspective is. You might learn something, and you don't have to always be right. Okay? You learn communication skills. So if someone says something to you and you interpreted it as a negative thing, was it really a negative thing or not? How would you know unless you asked the individual to clarify what they said? So how would you know? Right? You don't. So because you assumed something, then your behavior may become inappropriate just because you assumed that they meant something that they really didn't even mean. Right? So these are a couple of things that you have to remember in life. Hurting people hurt people. So when somebody is snapping at you and someone is mean to you, there is a reason behind it. It is an unfortunate reason, but there is a reason behind it, right? And this is something that I want you all to know. It has been said that people go to therapy because they're broken. You're not broken. Okay? I'm telling you that. You were misunderstood, but you're not broken. And sometimes people go to therapy because they want to feel better. But it's not really a matter of you feeling better. You want to be better. Because if you're feeling better, you're only feeling better for the moment. But then if you work on being better can last you a lifetime. That's all I have to say today. Come by and see me. Better Days, faithbasedcounseling.com. Be blessed.